Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo, and it is time for Scraplift Crafternoon. And I'm going to apologize right now for two things. One, I lost some footage, so you don't see the beginning of me doing this layout and backing the cut file and showing you what I'm using. Also, for my voice, and if I stop for a minute, it's because I'm taking a drink so that I can try to do this voiceover. We are lifting Shannon today, who is one of the Scraplift Crafternoon group. December is her birthday month. And this is what we're lifting. So here is where I lost footage, but I have printed a 4x6 photo with 4 smaller photos in it, and I have backed this cut file from MK Gun. I'm going to use this stuff. Oh, where'd it go? It is from Cartabella. It is called Love, Homemade with Love by Karina Gardner. And I'm using 2 scraps today to create a 12x12 page. I love this turquoise color and all these different kitchen pots and utensils and things on it. I thought that was perfect. So I wanted some torn edges, and then I cut this in half so that the torn edges, well, you'll see in just a second what I do with it. This cardstock is very thick and hefty. So ripping it, I had to use something kind of as a guide to help me rip where I wanted. And then I'm just using some ink. This is frayed burlap. And the only thing I wish I had done differently on this page is I wish I had inked the cut file before I backed it. I think it would have looked a little better if it were not stark white. But once it was backed, I couldn't figure out how to fix that without possibly ruining the stuff I backed it with. So I just decided to leave it be. I wanted to kind of frame the 4 small photos within this larger one. So I just glued 2 really narrow strips of brown cardstock to create a frame around there a little bit. Just to separate those. And I am scrapbooking about making my mom's homemade vegetable soup. And you can see what I did with the background there. I used that check because it reminds me of old-fashioned tablecloths. And then I'm using this other piece from the same Cartabella collection to create mats, one around the recipe card and one around the photos. And I don't remember if I inked the edges of this piece or not. I kind of thought I did, but now that I'm looking at the layout in front of me, I don't think so. So I took a picture of the process of me chopping up vegetables, some of the ingredients that go in there. And I wrote the recipe such as it is, and I'm using air quotes while I'm doing a voiceover. That's hilarious because you can't see that. It's kind of a recipe, but it's more like just directions because that's how Mom told me how to make it when I called her one day. I'm so thankful I did that. It wasn't too long after that Mom passed away. So I still have the notes that I took that day. I thought I lost them a while ago and I almost cried. I called my sister, so upset. But I found them, and so that makes me happy. But I wanted to put this on here and just record me making Mom's soup. And mine isn't quite as good as hers, but it's pretty good. So I decided to create a tag, and that's what I did my journaling on. And basically I just wrote on there what I told you, which that's kind of how I approach journaling anyway. I often imagine, if I were sitting looking at this layout with a friend or my daughter-in-law or someone who might not know the story, what would I say to them? What would I tell them so that this made sense? And that's how I do my journaling. So I backed it with that same yellowish pattern paper and did my writing on there. Backing the cut file took a little while. I'm not very good at that. I don't really have a method. Sometimes I glue my paper on the back and then cut around it. Sometimes I trace and cut and then glue. I don't think one is really better than the other for me because it's just not easy for me, but it turned out fine. I was able to use up some scraps, so that was nice, to like back the oven mitt part and the spoon, so that turned out well. I wanted a little reinforcer for the tag, but I didn't want the pattern of that yellow paper showing up, so I just used some ink to tone down the pattern. I've had this fiber for ages. I shared a bunch with my sister and some other people, and I still have so much, but I thought the colors worked for here, so I decided that was what was going to top the tag where the journaling was. Excuse me. So, I was sick a couple months ago, and I was better for less than 2 weeks when I got sick again. So I saw the nurse practitioner yesterday, and she's pretty sure I have pneumonia. She went ahead and treated me for it, even though I didn't have an x-ray yesterday. And she said, if you're not better, significantly better in 2 days, you must go to urgent care and have a chest x-ray. So I am better today than I was yesterday. So I don't think I will need that. I think the medicine she gave me for pneumonia is working, whether I have pneumonia or not. But I'm really tired of being sick and not being able to talk well. But at least I can still function. I think I'm going to go to work for part of a day tomorrow and see how that goes. And I'm very grateful for modern medicine that is helping me get better. So now I'm pulling out the sticker sheet, and a lot of this was about baking specifically, so that didn't work, but some of it was more about recipes. Like that tab I just put up the top says Mom's Recipes. And I love the red paper that I backed the stock pot with, because a few years ago my daughter bought me a great big red stock pot for when I make big batches of soup for the freezer. And so that's what I was using to make soup this day. So the red worked out really nicely. And I don't use that pot often. I don't know, once a month or so. But it sure comes in handy when I need a great big pot to cook in. And now I'm just adding a few stickers. Some of them have measurements on it, like 1 tablespoon, 1/3 cup, that sort of thing. There's also a sticker I end up sticking in there that just says recipes. It brings some blue to the middle of the page when there's a lot of blue, that turquoisey blue on the top and bottom of the page. This is just a couple little, I don't know, flag type things that I stuck up there. We're getting to the end. The still shots are coming up. I did add a title that I think you'll see in the very last still shot. It just says, "Let's eat." Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy birthday, Shannon. I hope you can see the inspiration from your page in mine. It's just that I wanted a great big image to work with, like you had in the middle of yours with the dinosaur paws and claws or whatever. So that's my big stock pot. Thanks everyone for joining me. Please check out Shannon as well as the rest of the Scraplift Crafternoon crew. There will be links as always in the description box below. Take care, and I hope that you get to scrapbook something for yourself very soon. Bye-bye.